Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Slow Customs. And in today's episode, we'll be looking at Sir Wallins and Shooting Star Gordon. So first we're going to look at Sir Wallins. So Sir Wallins is a Q1 Pacific engine. It's, I believe, a concept by Oliver Bullied for a Q1 tender end, or like larger tender engine with like a Pacific wheelbase, I think. That's why it was called the Q1 Pacific. Sorry if the camera's shaking here. I'm kind of doing this on an uneven surface, so I'm trying to hold it. Anyway, so I've had this kind of engine on my OC roster for a little bit, and I decided might as well finally make him. So let's get into it. The main part here, I suppose I really can't move him too much. The only real wooden railways parts are the tender, wheels, well, actually, I believe part of the chassis, too. Anyway, I guess a lot of it is wooden railway, but the wheels for him I took off of a Gator for the back wheel. I actually made a custom chassis out of a Stafford chassis. I just like cut it up, glued it to size, and then just painted it. The tender chassis, that is a spare, I believe, 2012 Henry chassis. Anyway, I've had that one for a little bit. But yeah, so those were really easy to take off of the engines. Well, I guess Gators really wasn't, but I digress. The main body for Wallens is made up of a bit of balsa wood with a Thomas Wood Yon Bow cab. I originally wanted to make the cab itself, but I decided to use the Yon Bow cab because the shape of the Q1 Pacific was like really awkward, and it just was like awful trying to make a cab, so I just kind of cut the piece of balsa wood down and glued it onto that to allow a footplate and as like a base for the sections here. Speaking of which, these sections are just a bit of cardboard wrapped over top. I can actually take them off. Oh yeah, and for his bogie system, he just rests on like 2 screws. Screwed into the balsa wood, so yeah. Anyway, so the shape of it is like, sorry about getting it. It's kind of hard to angle this, but the shape isn't as flat at the top as it usually is with how like people make it. But I tried my best to make it as flat as I can, and I think I did pretty good. The actual concept, or like the actual image of the Q1 Pacific, though, there are 4 layers. So there's 1, 2, I think 4, and then, or sorry, 3 and then 4. I just decided to do 3, just so I could kind of keep it similar to the to Neville. And in my lore, Sir Wallins is a cousin to Neville, but anyway. But I figured this little section at the front here would compensate for that missing 4th one, so I just decided might as well do 3. The dome, I believe, is just a, it's kind of like a screw cover for one of those like DIY cabinets or whatever. I've had like plenty of them, and I think I've used them once or twice. But all I had to do was cut it down, round it out a little bit, and then just kind of glue it onto the center one. So, it turned out really nice. The funnel, I actually don't remember where I got the funnel from. I think it might have been a take-and-play Thomas, maybe? I don't remember. But that was just glued on there to make it look nice and whatever. The face is a Stafford face. It is a little bit yellowed. That I tried to fix it, and well, it didn't work for what I did. I figured out how to actually make the face not yellow, but I had super glued it on by the time I figured it out. So he's just stuck with like a yellowed face, which I don't mind too much. I mean, you really can't tell too much if it's up against something, but You can definitely still see it's there. Anyway, so I redid his eyebrows and just kind of glued it on. The front foot plate here, really simple. I just took two triangle pieces of cardboard and angled them up. That way it gave it kind of like a support system thing. The buffer beam is painted red. I decided to give Wallens a set of white buffers just because I thought it looked kind of cool. Like, I usually do black buffers, but I mean, I painted his entire body black, so I might as well just do white buffers. It makes him look a bit better. His handrails just painted on there. That was a last-minute thing. For his cab, there's a window here and there, but underneath it says T7. I put T7 just because, well, I didn't know what number I should give him, and the T is just meant to represent my name, so just kind of like a fun little Easter egg. Here's the other side of Wallens here. So, I think it's a little bit cleaner. But anyway. The name Sir Wallins, though, that actually comes from, like, lore I've made up from my book. So it's really not mentioned in the book, but I digress. Just know that Sir Wallins comes from my book. His tender is pretty simple. It's just the Henry tender with cut off bits, wrapped in tape, painted black with the BR crest. The water cap here, that's just a Lego stud. I did have to cut into the coal, you can see right there, just to get it to fit on the actual like raised part here, which is a piece of balsa wood. I think it turned out okay though. Little cover piece here. I don't know, it's meant to be something. Let's see if I can see. Yeah, there I go. And on the back, he's also got the white and red buffer beam, so. Yeah, honestly, I really like Sir Wallins, though. He just looks so nice. And I just can't wait to use him in my series, if I ever do get back to that. Anyway, next custom. This next one is Shooting Star Gordon. Now, Shooting Star Gordon was a custom made purely out of boredom. Just because I figured I have this spare off-brand engine, why not turn it into something? So I did what a lot of people do and took a off-brand daylight locomotive. Like, there's many brands carry them. They don't brand them as daylight, but you can obviously tell it's the same engine. Anyway, so I did that and made my Shooting Star Gordon. So the main body for Shooting Star was pretty simple. All I had to do was in this, like, middle section here, there was some, like, bits that stuck up. I believe they were supposed to be, like, sandboxes or whatever. I just kind of cut those off and wrapped it in, or covered it with tape. That way it kind of smoothed it out, but you can definitely, oh, sorry about the camera, Jesus. But you can still tell. Anyway. So the face for Shooting Star Gordon is just a standard Gordon face, with the fixed eyebrows, of course. I kind of wanted to do the official Shooting Star Gordon merch face, but I decided to do this one just because, I mean, it's the face that I had on hand, and, I mean, if I ever wanted to use it with my other Gordon, I'd have it right here, so, yeah. Not much on the front. Down here, it's just, like, the vent things. One key difference, though, with my Shooting Star Gordon is everyone does blue wheels. Like, I know they're blue in the show, and that's perfectly fine, but I decided to give him black wheels just because, one, I didn't want to paint him blue with this blue because this blue took so many coats. Oh my god, I swear, you can even still tell there's some blue missing. Anyway. So I think it was a nice design choice or whatever. The stripe, pretty simple, especially with the dark blue, really simple. Handrails. Overall, this is a really simple custom, but I made this one out of boredom, so, yeah. The roof here is actually, I think, different, but instead of having it just kind of, like, cut off or whatever and go down like it usually does in the show, I decided to continue it onto the cab, and then it ends in, like, a point. just because I felt like that would help with, like, aerodynamic stuff. I don't know. I just thought it looked kind of cool. And honestly, I think it does. Sorry about that. That's my brother's. Anyway, his tender is actually really simple. Excuse me. I just took a James tender. You can even still tell there's red, especially right here. But I took a James tender, put it on an off-brand chassis, and then put some like plates or like side panels on. That way I could get the curved that his tender has, while also still having the like box end part of it. And honestly, I think it turned out really nice. I like the 4 that I did. That turned out a lot better than I expected. Especially on this. Well, actually, no, that side was better, but you know what I mean. The line continues, and it is matched up with the original. So, yeah. This little section here, it doesn't go down in the show because it's obviously lined up in the show, but with the, like the daylight body, I wasn't able to do that. So I continued the blue from this height, and then I made it dip down like it does in the show. So I think that's actually pretty cool in terms of accuracy. Tender piece, that didn't move. I just kind of went around it. The back here, super simple. It's just a red buffer beam with a lamp. One feature about this, though, is that it doesn't have a rear coupling, or like a rear magnet that works. Like, sure, it still looks like it's there. You really can't tell on camera, but it's there. It's kind of like a dummy magnet, just because I figured I didn't want to sacrifice a coupling for him, because he's not going to pull anything. Because if anything, I only use Shooting Star Gordon for like a scene remake, and then he just disappears. I probably won't ever use this guy again. So yeah, I think it works. Anyway, I'll move the camera out since, I mean, it's already been moving. I hope you guys enjoyed this round of Slow Customs, and stupid camera, sheesh. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this batch of customs, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.